Tonight on the program, our attention will first begin on the 2026 year ahead, a year that would quietly but firmly set the tone for the 2027 general elections. As political camps begin to realign, campaign messages take shape and alliances form behind the scenes, a key question confronts Nigeria and Nigerians. Will the emerging agenda be driven by serious conversations around nation building, the economy and security, or will Nigeria once again fall back on identity politics, old loyalties and primordial sentiments? That will be our first conversation tonight as we examine how politicians are positioning themselves for the months ahead and what issues are gaining traction and what voters should be paying attention to as the rhetoric continues to build. Joining us for tonight's conversation is Ishaya Inuwa Durkwa, a politician and philanthropist who will be joining the conversation virtually from Yola, the Adamawa state capital. Thank you so much for joining us and good evening to you. Compliments of the season.
Hey, thank you. Compliments of the season to you and to Nigerians. Thank you for having me here. I do pray that connection will allow me into this discussion properly because I am on data is a bit slow this evening in Yola.
Right. It's a Nigerian thing and we all can understand that. But let's hope the connection is strong enough to allow us to have a fruitful conversation. And I'd like to start with your initial sense of what is playing out here. The question is, will 2026 be the same story as we've heard in 2018, as we've heard in 2022, as we've heard in 2014, as the previous elections? Is there anything significantly different about what is shaping up to be yet another electoral battle come 2027? And there's obviously a sense that 2026 is the year of making it or breaking it for all the parties involved. What do you make of it?
Definitely 2025 is behind us. This is 2026. We are just starting. And many things came to limelight in 2025, the year that just passed, that would change the dynamics of 2026 as we do elections in 2027. One of the things that would shape this year as far as politics is concerned is the fact that there has never been a time that political party permutations is very uncertain. You remember that it appears as if we are driving or drifting towards a one-party system, whatever is happening, a situation where nearly all the governors in PDP have defected to the ruling party, APC, and many senators have defected. And there is a kind of gathering in APC that will definitely change the dynamics of this year as campaigns begin. But of course, the second thing is the coalition, ADC coalition, and the Peter Obi coming into the ADC just to a day to the end of this last year. Definitely things are changing. Campaigns will not be the same. The dynamics will change, and the list would go on and on.
And let me pick you up on that question about one-party state. Are those concerns that you have genuine concerns? Because we've heard people from the opposition side say, listen, at the end of the day, Nigerians get to decide who they want to put in any given position. State assembly, state government houses, national assembly, as well as the top job in Aso Rock Villa. Does it really matter if APC takes over all of these states via defection?
I think a lot matters. It begs the question of ideology. Do we have ideology when we do political parties? For example, if you look at the United States of America, and it's not a perfect scenario because they have their own challenges, But if you're a Democrat, you are a Democrat. If you're a Republican, you are a Republican. And once you are said to be a Democrat, people know the values that you cherish, that you uphold, that you drive. Once you are a Republican, people know the kind of policies that you would be working with, because there are ideologies that make those parties distinct. But our climb is different. You hear of PDP, you hear of APC, you hear of Labour Party, and people are always cross-carpeting. And so, yeah, that worries me a bit to ask, do we have ideologies for being in a political party? What ideologies do we subscribe to? And the second thing that worries me is that I'm a Nigerian, and I'm a bit worried about it. Yeah, it doesn't matter if the president takes it all, as some people would say, but for me, it matters. It matters in the sense of the fact that I am asking, what is informing the defection? Is it good governance, or is it something else? If it is good governance, how did that translate into alleviating the sufferings of Nigerians? And that is big in my heart. Poverty eradication, unemployment, the change of the rate of unemployment of Nigerian youths, the issues of insecurity. And you look at all of these different things that we have been severely challenged with. What has changed? So what really is informing the defection? So, I mean, I can ask questions and questions and questions, and I've been asking, it's just that I don't have answers, and I really want to understand. Is it that the government have done what is well, what is good? If that is not the case, then what is informing the defection? And I believe I'm not the only one who is worried about this. It's just that sometimes we are nonchalant, we play a nonchalant kind of attitude. We really do not care. And an average Nigerian will tell you, does it really matter? It's not in my power to do anything. The elites, the politicians, the gladiators will do what they want to do, irrespective of what I think or what I do. But honestly, as a Nigerian, I am asking the question, what is informing the defections?
Right.
Is it that governance has been good and Nigerians are getting a better life, or what exactly is creating that? So that's the question, and it worries me, to be honest.
Right. I know you're asking questions that obviously I can't answer, but I believe you have theories about what is playing out.
You have to answer it for me, because I'm truly, truly troubled.
Right.
I want to know. I don't have problem with anybody, but I want to know. You see, I just came out of some villages, and suffering, poverty is palpable. People are going through a lot of challenges, and insecurity is worrisome. There are many communities here, or some communities here in Adama, that once it is night, look, New Year Eve crossover night was cancelled because of insecurity challenge. Now, do you know that to cancel insecurity has spelled a blanket of fear and anxiety over the citizens? These are our realities, and it worries me. And honestly, I'll be glad if you give me an answer. What is informing this defection? Is it good governance, or is something else? Without any, casting aspersion to anybody, I just want seek to know.
Right. Okay, so let's take a look at this picture, which we have up on our screen right now. This is a part of the Daily Trust reporting, saying that APC is nearing 30 states, about to beat the PDP's record. One on the left is a representation of all the parties and how much states they control in 2023. That's after the elections. And you see that there's a dominance from the APC in 2023, albeit somewhat contested, because you see that the PDP is also evenly spread in the north as well as in the south. However, fast forward 2 years later, and it looks like APC is everywhere. In fact, PDP is not present in the southern part of the country, especially the southeast and in the south-south. Plateau has just been taken. Governor Muftwang has formally joined the APC. There are speculations about what's playing out in Kano and Taraba State. We obviously know that Governor Abu Kefas is set to join the APC. So you talk about why are they joining? Isn't it also very clear that the most stable political party right now in the country, one with a lot of political currency because of the incumbency factor, is the APC? Is there also a chance that the internal crisis in the PDP, the one in the Labour Party, the seeming brewing one in the ADC itself, is one of the reasons why some of these top political figures are jumping ship? Or do you think there's more to it?
Yeah, I mean, we can keep speculating on these realities, but the question is even what is informing the challenges, or what has informed the challenges in the PDP that used to be the biggest political party in the whole of Africa, and they have prided themselves in that. What has changed? Who fueled the crisis? And then we can also talk about Labour Party as well, that did reasonably well in last election, but was also hit by crisis that couldn't be resolved. And yeah, you just mentioned ADC that seems to be having little hitches or glitches here and there, but is having life in it. And I hope they would be able to overcome that challenge, because it will be sad to say that there is only one political party, and in the next election we have been able to present only one presidential candidate. That will not be good for Nigeria, the most populous black nation in the world. That will definitely not be a good thing for us. Any society that lacks opposition is heading to the gallows, and ours cannot be different. So I ask the question, what has fueled the crisis? And you know very well that, again, I'm sorry if what I'm saying will not sit well with some people, but you see, God has given me mouth to talk, and sometimes I don't shy away from talking. But let me tell you, we know that there is a current decimal that has been fighting. So we are wondering, for example, is Nyesom Wike a PDP member or an APC member? Again, I don't have problem. I'm just asking questions. Tonight, as you talk with me, I'm asking more questions. What really is going on? And yeah, APC is the biggest political party. They have spending power. They have power of incumbency, and all the deep pockets are gathered there. And we know how much money do play out during electioneering, and it looks as if 2027 elections is a done deal, because the cloud has gathered in one direction. This appears to be the reality or the picture that is being painted before us. But I still ask the question, what is the cause of the crisis that couldn't be resolved amongst these political parties?
Right.
What I am learning about us as a people is that we don't like talking, because we pay price. We do pay a high price. When you talk, you are termed. When you talk, you could be demonized, and so people don't want to talk about things, even when they know this is the truth or this is what is going on. So the best we can do sometimes is to ask questions. Right. I'm a philosopher, and we survive by asking questions. So I am asking the question, what has created the crisis that has gone unresolved, that decimated PDP? As of today, we just have a semblance of life in that political party. What happened to Labour Party? Because when you deduce everything to its lowest fractional level, it appears as if there is one card that is being played. And I'm not here tonight to talk about that card. Maybe in another 7 days, so when I come to Abuja, I will tell you, because I'm not afraid to say what I know, and I will talk about it, and I will take responsibility for saying it. But for tonight, I'm asking the question, what is it that played out that made these political parties to really go into nearly extinction, if I may say? Because PDP, as it stands today, may face many litigations. And we don't know what would be played out at the judiciary if you run on election on that platform today. Again, I'm just asking, because I'm not a professional on that, to speak into the matters. But all is not well, and all is not what it appears to be as it stands today.
Right. A lot of people from the outside looking in would say it's quite simple. You study Nigerian politics for a couple of years and you see a familiar pattern repeating itself over and over. There's a lot of selfishness. There's a lot of indiscipline. There's a lot of question mark around credibility and the integrity of the players that either run the political parties or that are behind these political parties, whether it's the PDPs, the Labour parties, or the NNPPs. But just to put a finer point on it, do you think 2026 or the battle for 2027 itself would be won and lost because of the internal crisis or the stability of a political party? Or do you think it is about who presents the best case to Nigerians? Would the elections be won and lost because of internal political crisis within the political parties themselves? Or would it be the best candidate that has the best ideas?
What I see that is going to play out is this. Nigerians are going to go out to vote for personalities, for persons, not for political parties. And what I see that is going to play out is that Nigerians are going to vote or are going to go into the electioneering. So it's going to be an election between the Nigerian people and the Nigerian systems, Nigerian people and Nigerian institutions, the institutions that are very unstable, the institutions that have failed to become strong to bring food to the poor, to bring employment to our young people who do not have jobs to do, to bring security to our nation that our leaders have not been able to do. Some months ago, I did say that 2026 is going to be a decider for what Nigeria is going to look like if you plot a trajectory in the next 10 years. Take this from me and write it down. It's going to be Nigerians versus the establishments, the average Nigerian versus the establishments. And Lord have mercy on us if someone tries to tinker with the system against the wish of the people. So governors don't win election. If the people don't want them to win, they cannot win. Because we are talking about approximately 250 million Nigerians. And out of them, about 150 are eligible voters. And they are going to come out against less than 10% of that population who pride themselves in spending power, in holding the security, in holding the judiciary, in holding the electoral umpire. Those are the things that they are brandishing, isn't it? So let's watch and see what would happen between Nigerians and the establishments. This is what I'm thinking that is going to play out. Again, back to the defection. Was it because of good governance or something else that we do not know? If it is because of good governance, I tell you that the ruling party is going to win hands down. It is already decided. But if it is the other way around, then Nigerians might as well take their states from its captors.
Right. So let's talk about the circle repeating itself, or that same familiar pattern that I talked about, right? We've always talked about what the issues are. You talked about economy, you talked about security, you talk about the overwhelming poverty that Nigerians have been dealing with. We've seen that those structural problems multiply. The government has its own rhetoric about what it is doing to mitigate the impact of the economic downturn on the lives and livelihoods of Nigerians. But essentially, will the messaging really make a difference? Or will it be the same old referendum on the incumbent, where you see protest votes because people either are not satisfied with the performance of a governor, of a House of Representative member, of a senator, or even the president. What is likely going to play out in 2026 regarding the messaging for 2027?
The messaging, when crafted well, is going to resonate with Nigerians because there is a unifier. And one of the strong unifiers that would make messaging good is hunger. Nigerians are hungry. One of the forces of unification is unemployment. And there is a teeming unemployed youths in our nation who are just being tossed by every wind like flag on a pole that would soon be torn to shreds. So, right crafting of messages might activate all of these people to come out in one direction. But again, that will depend on what the seeming opposition is going to do. And for now, ADC appears to be the rising opposition in our nation. So messaging is going to play out well. I know there is a psychological challenge that we must acknowledge, which is created by poverty and cycle of doing things in the same way that has made people to be doing these things in the same way. Like politicians come with Maggi, with noodles, with all of these things. And because people are poor, they go in that direction. I think Nigerians are becoming better. Nigerians are learning very fast. There has never been a time that people are becoming more aware, like today in the history of our nation and electioneering. So I believe messaging, when crafted well, is going to create the right idea. As for those who are in power, what will their messaging be? Is it going to be some more promises? Nigerians are tired of hearing promises. That rather they want to see a doing. And this is why I'm thinking, and this is why I could even go beyond thinking to say I believe that the right messaging that would resonate with average Nigerian will get Nigerians to go in that direction. That is, if I understand your question very well.
Right. And in talking about the opposition, you clearly put ADC as the leading opposition candidate, as the leading opposition party. Why is that? I mean, PDP still has at least 4 governors, right? And it's still a well-known political party, the most recognized one on the ballot and also on the tongues of Nigerians across the country. It's everywhere. Why do you think the ADC is overtaking the PDP in this regard?
Well, I thought the most recent concluded convention of PDP is under disputation. INEC seems to be not very affirmative or affirming that convention. Now, if I'm wrong, forgive me, but that is the feel as I'm getting. And if that is the case, it would mean that after the elections, people might have to face litigation. And it will be a question of whether PDP is legally a viable party or not. Again, we can get lawyers to interpret these realities or even get INEC to speak into these issues. Right now, I'm just speculating, seeking to understand, like many Nigerians, but I'm giving credence to ADC as an opposition because if you look at the last count or the last group of people that joined the ADC, which is Mr. Peter Obi, and some of his people from the southeast and different parts of the nation, you would agree with me as well that ADC is a rising opposition. And I hear Nigerians at different quarters talking about ADC, and we can talk about the caliber, the kind of people that are leading the affairs of the ADC and all of that. So that is the reason why I believe ADC is the rising opposition. party in Nigeria.
And speaking about issues that will shape the conversation, where do you stand on zoning? Because for some people, it is the kryptonite, it is the unaddressed issue for the ADC or even the PDP. I mean, the PDP has put up its zoning committee, even though much of those arrangements have collapsed because the person chairing the committee has dumped the PDP to join the APC. But is zoning going to be a key factor in the dynamics that will play out for the opposition?
Zoning would always be a conversation until it is gazetted in our constitution, because these are party arrangement. You can call it gentleman agreement, not a constitutional matter. And right now, I truly do not necessarily care whether Nigeria is led by a northerner, a southerner, a westerner. What I want to see happen is a Nigeria that is prospering, a Nigeria where there is peace and security, a Nigeria where our young people would find job to do, a Nigeria where the best and the brightest of us will not be fleeing. The brain drain is too much and is embarrassing. A Nigeria that has dignity, where you don't need to go and scramble for US visa or be threatened that we are delisting you, we won't give you visa. If our house is in order, we should be taking visa at entry point, not to be queuing at embassies. But because they know Nigerians are not living comfortably, they want to leave their countries. They are making all of these visa issues complicated for Nigerians. And you travel, if you have traveled like me, there are places that you want to hide your green passport because visibly at some places Nigerians don't have dignity. People are not respecting us. So all of these are the things that worry me. And if a Westerner will bring order in Nigeria, it would make Nigeria to prosper and get Nigeria's dignity to be restored, so be it. If a Northerner is the one that will do it, so be it. What I want is to see an end to the challenging insecurity that we are faced with. I want to be able to travel the roads the way I used to when I was growing up, without fear of being kidnapped. I want to be able to go to the village and spend Christmas without the fear that some people are going to attack us. I want to be able to buy food, pay bills, whether it's hospital. I want to see functional hospitals, not leaders taking medical vacations to go to nations spending humongous amounts of money because our hospitals are not working. I want to see a Nigeria where people would have decent life and livelihood. So at the minute, the zoning thing really does not strike a chord in my heart.
Right.
But that we must work assiduously to get Nigeria work. And then I end from where I began, that zoning is an agreement within political parties, is not a matter that is enshrined in our constitution. And so if we want to solve these zoning problems, we need to get that into our constitution and get it gazetted. I think that is where that should begin from.
All right. It remains to be seen what plays out in the next couple of months as these political parties decide on which road, which path to take in the effort to win political power. But on a final note, before we wrap things up, the messaging that we talked about, the reference you made about how Nigerians can be convinced about what is the best alternatives or what are the best alternatives for them on the ballot. We've seen Nigerians become desensitized. We've seen voter apathy go up significantly. Last time around in 2023, we had the lowest voter turnout. Do you think the messaging can really reawaken the political curiosity, the political willingness of Nigerians, first-time voters, second-time voters, people who care about fixing this country? Do you think the messaging is central to them coming out on election day? So much so that we're going to have at least an appreciable percentage when it's time to vote.
I believe absolutely that with the right messaging, Nigerians would come out en masse. They are going to throw voter apathy to the winds and come out. Why? Because Nigeria belongs to them. Why? Because apathy does not change anything. Why? Because it is their destiny. Their vote is their destiny. Yes, it can be said that vote does not count, but that is not entirely true. And Nigerians are beginning to know that votes do count. There is limit to rigging. When Nigerians choose to take this as their duty, the dynamics will change. And why do I believe that Nigerians will come out en masse to vote with the right messaging? Is because Nigerians are going through untold hardship, needless pain, and disgusting realities. So with the right messaging, Nigerians are going to change. I've been a teacher of worldview transformation. I know that no matter how warped a person's mind is, with the right messaging, they are going to change the way they think. They are going to change the way they do things. So remember, change is constant. Whereas we've been seeing voter apathy yesterday, it does not translate or to mean that voter apathy is going to continue tomorrow. Remember, even the last elections, people have been saying that you can't win election on social media and things like that. But when the right messaging came through one of the aspirants in the last election, you saw how Nigerians came out in the sun and in the rain, in the night, and they came out en masse to vote. So it's going to happen. Just the right messaging, because Nigerians are the ones who are paying the price for poor governance. And so they are going to take their destiny into their hands. They are going to come out en masse to vote. Right. They will not, in fact, only vote. I believe Nigerians will be out to protect their votes. They will make sure it is counted. They will make sure that it is announced because they want to take their nation into their hands. We are a nation that is blessed by God. We have everything that we need. There is no reason why one Nigerian should go to bed hungry, but because of the kind of leadership that we have. So Nigerians are going to come out en masse to vote, just with striking the right chord, and it's going to happen.
Right.
This is what I believe. This is what I'm working towards, and in fact, I am adding my voice for the mobilization. Yes.
Right. Right. Interesting times ahead. It's still early days, but you get the sense that the election is just around the corner, but that is Nigeria, isn't it? We say, Ishaya Inuwa Durkwa, thank you so much for the analysis. The network has been kind, so appreciate you very much for your 2 cents on the conversation tonight.
Hey, thank you. Thank you so much for having me here. The next time we meet, I'll give you names and figures of the things that I didn't do now.
Looking forward to that.
My voice belongs to me. Thank you.